Welcome to the Pro Aging Podcast. I'm Steve Gurney, founder of the Positive Aging Community. We're excited that you can join us for our live and interactive discussions with pioneers and thought leaders on a wide variety of topics related to aging and longevity. We're able to bring these discussions to you, along with copies of the Positive Aging Sourcebook, thanks to the support of our Positive Aging community champions. Visit proaging.com to connect with them and find hundreds of other resources. Well, according to the Pew Research Center, 3/4 of those over the age of 65 and older regularly use computers, tablets, and smartphones. But that doesn't mean that their technology lives are easy. Today, we have a live and interactive discussion with Ryan Greene from Quincy, which is an innovative platform started in a classroom at Columbia University and designed to make technology support accessible for everyone. And Ryan is also offering a special offer to all Positive Aging community members. If you use the code PROAGING, PROAGING, when you call 208-557-8466 or go to the website gogoquincy.com, you can unlock 20 minutes of free support each month for any attendees or network members. So let's jump into this discussion with Ryan Greene. Button. And then I gotta bring our streaming folks on. All right. Well, folks, I am delighted to introduce you to our topic and our guest today. I think we're going to have a great discussion here today, but we're also going to learn about an innovative platform that was started at Columbia University that is really addressing the tech support challenge that we all face from a different angle. And so I am delighted to welcome Ryan Greene from a startup organization, Quincy, to the stage. And we can kick off this discussion today. And I love how everybody's using chat today and introducing each other. We got some really we got some rock stars in the audience today. So Ryan, great to have you. And looks like the New York City skyline there behind you.
Yes, it's also not a backdrop. It's real.
You can see, I get all the pixels. Right. That's the real thing, folks. Excellent. Well, Ryan, I know we're going to dive into this innovative organization that you're with. But before we do that, and tech support in general, but before we do that, let's get to know you a little bit better. Tell us a little bit about your story and what led you to being involved with this initiative.
Absolutely. And Steve, just thank you so much for having me today. Positive Aging as an organization, the resources that you provide your viewers, your followers, just the internet in general, really, really appreciate it. I think you just do so much. By way of, I guess, introduction, I usually start out with the fact that I am not a kid, but I am an only child. And the company started about 3 years ago during the heart of the pandemic. I was visiting an older family member and my grandfather, who I had not seen in about 7 months. And because I have no cousins and because I have no siblings, I am usually, at the time, I was tech support. And 7 months of not being able to assist an older family member, he comes out of his bedroom after just a list piling up. He's carrying his yellow legal pad, 17 computer tasks on it, a printer not working, hasn't seen email in 3 weeks, and just was no longer connected to the people that he was hoping to be connected with. I am on spring break. I was in business school at the time, I guess it was winter break. And I bit my tongue and I just put my head down and I got through those computer tasks. And each one only took me a few minutes. And it made me realize that there is so much that digitally native generations take for granted. And Quincy was founded shortly after. And it's just been an incredible journey the last couple of years.
I love it. Okay. And we're going to dive into more what you do and what you don't do. here in a moment, but I'm thrilled that we've already got a bunch of questions coming in. I kind of knew this was going to happen. Okay. I love the story, and okay. So let's let's get that out of the way in terms of tell us a little bit about how you created this business and the support that you have from the outside, and kind of where things are, and then we'll dive into some of these tech questions and have a really cool discussion about just tech support in general.
Totally. I think with any service, with any experience, it's about the team. And we just have an incredible team. I'm lucky to have a phenomenal co-founder with a PhD in linguistics and a background in technology, having designed products for older adults for the better part of a decade. And when we put our head down, we knew there were a few things like that were table stakes. We wanted our users to always be able to speak with a human. Right out the gate, you call in, there's a phone number available, or in our technology suite, you click a button and we are notified you are on the phone with us in 5 minutes tops. That is the gateway to accessing everything. I like to think of us as a grandchild on demand. So the irony about tech support, and let me actually take a step back, technology in general. I have not met a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old who at one point in the day doesn't want to pick up their laptop and throw it out a window. And that's a universal denominator. Right, there you go. That's it. And so the joke is, internally, we can't save everybody. So we just focus our efforts on a older demographic, an older generation, where we know there has been some neglect in the past. So that's first and foremost. When we started this system, we knew that it needed to be easily accessible. We wanted it to play into the points that people actually need support with. There are some incredible resources out there that teach you how to use your devices. AARP has systems. There are platforms that give you video lessons. I spent 3 years of my career in e-learning, so I have an immense appreciation for the value of being able to learn something digitally. We, though, are not your teacher. We are the...
Yeah, that's a good... I want to just reiterate that to sort of distinguish yourself from what you've created from some of the other platforms that we talk about on a regular basis here, that are more, how do I operate my phone? How do I get on Nextdoor and make posts? This is tech support where I've got a problem and I need somebody to fix it. Is that correct?
That's the beginning of it. Okay. Because what we found was the first step is unlocking problems. So if a problem happens, you give us a call, we fix it. What we found was, in that, by having that resource, it unlocks the best of the internet. Telehealth, telemedicine, being able to buy things online, communication, entertainment, and we help with all that as well. Something doesn't have to not work for us to help. It's that there is something that you're looking to accomplish, and we are going to rise to that challenge. I'm looking to accomplish printing. We can do that. I'm looking to find a better price for something online. We can help with that. My email hasn't been received for 3 weeks. We are absolutely going to be able to help with that.
Okay, cool. So and you sort of are looking at the support versus the learning, but I think that in doing some of those tasks, the persons that go onto your platform are going to be learning something. Yes. But just so I mean, I got kind of before we logged in, I wanted to just give, so here's number one, here's the Go Quincy website, which we can kind of go through and figure out how, folks can utilize this. But then I just wanted to give you a glimpse at a few of the learning sites. And if anybody's got experience with these, in the audience, feel free to kind of share your experience. But there's Get Set Up, there's Senior Planet, and I'm just cutting and pasting these addresses into chat as I'm doing these. There's I think this one is based in Canada called Cyber Seniors, and I get emails from them. That's another one where you can kind of take classes and stuff. And then this is one that Ryan shared with me right before we logged in. It's called Teensers, kind of a play on the seniors term. So okay, cool. So let's kind of go over how do you so it's basically we go to the Go Quincy website and you just pick up the phone and you give somebody a call and tell them your problem. Is that how it works?
Yes. I think you have an attendee list that it ranges. Some people really just want the comfort of being able to pick up a phone and placing that call, and they are going to speak with someone. I'll ask you all not to do that this specific moment, because I have seen that happen where people want to test it out.
Okay.
They're there to help. And it's totally, that is absolutely something that we love. We also, though, set our users up with a suite that ranges from click a button and we'll notify you, digital magnifying glass, different tools to make navigating technology easier. I do see a question about the packages, and the question was, is it free? And yes, there is actually an option. And Steve, I'll let you share what my team came up with to make sure that all the participants are able to take advantage of that. But we do have a tier that is free support. And that was really important to us, that we realize some of our users cannot afford support. And we wanted to figure out a way for them to feel that they had a support mechanism in place whenever they needed, with some time allocated.
Great. And yeah, I will post that in there. And basically what it is that and Ryan and his team have generously given us extra support. Everybody gets some limit of free support, but we've added a few extra minutes on there if you use the term pro aging when you call in. And this is a great way to just try it out and see if it's helpful and it works for you. But like, for example, let's say, so that free support is 20 minutes a month. What's some examples of some tech support things that you all can accomplish in 20 minutes or less?
A lot. That's like actually one full session. And when I think about some of the most frequent uses of the service, this is actually a great use for them. I think of them as three categories. One is the username management side of the equation. So often we talk about passwords as a problem. The joke, though, is we all have, and I'm not condoning this behavior, but we all have our one or two favorite passwords. That's easy enough to remember. It's actually the usernames that we have found to be really challenging to help people keep organized. And so we've created some tools that help with that. But that is absolutely a good use of that time. A second thing is, what settings are you using on social media? We love that our users use social media, and we couldn't think of a better way to stay connected. Something that we always caution our users, though. What is shared on social is going to be seen by others, and that is fine. The challenge is some bad actors have learned that they can take the information from an account, they can tap into, and by tap, I mean logical deduction of who you are connected with, and they can message them directly using information found on your account and sending messages as though it's a message coming from you. A scenario I saw last week, and this is just one of a couple of, thousands of this scenario where I saw that someone's sending a message saying something like, Rachel's granddaughter, Jessica's in the hospital, and she's asking everyone who can, if they can, to send a couple of gift cards with some funds on it. Here's the address. And it seems benign, but it actually is a very effective tool. And it's unfortunate that so many people want to help. So many people will do what they can to assist, and it just falls into that type of trap. That one's really, really I hate seeing that one, and it does happen. And the last one is actually a play on that as well, which is emails are so easily organized and structured as though they are coming from a legit source, a PayPal, a LifeLock, a Norton antivirus. And I will admit, I fall into this myself constantly.
Oh, no. They're white lab coats, and these people that craft these messages are insane.
Totally. An email where I saw this, I received it 3 days ago, and I have my own technician because of this, because I don't think twice sometimes. I see a bill come in. Thank you for renewing your $800 subscription. If there was an error, click this button. Yeah. Guess who clicks that one every time?
No. But so it sounds like some of your clients, if you're number one, we all need to be cautious, and we need to be concerned about these things. And there are tips. Like, I've gone through some training where now, I right click on these links and I look at the link before I open it. But if somebody was hesitant, they could call you up and call up Go Quincy and at least walk that through with your team.
100%. And that, I think, is a great use case for some of those free minutes.
Okay.
It's just know that, and like any support, you need to put things in place preventatively, preemptively. You want to know that you have your support mechanism in place before you need it. The moment you need it and you need to find the support, set up the support, and then tackle the issue, I don't want to say it's too late at that point, but you are increasing the amount of anxiety that is happening in that moment. And that is something that we constantly stress, just get ahead of.
So now, like, I'm gonna, I'm sort of reflecting on my own IT and technical support. And usually the first thing that comes to mind is my computer is just, it feels like the hamsters are not running around the wheel. I mean, everything's slow. You try to turn it off, it takes forever. And then my IT support desk is my brother, and I call him up and he works his magic while I sit in the corner, and usually everything works out. So it's sort of your computer, your equipment is not operating that well. And then you brought it up earlier, this printer that's over to my left is, I'd probably say 1 in 30 times that I'm trying to print and something happens and I got to start like unplugging stuff and doing things like that. Are these scenarios that Go Quincy could help somebody with?
100%. I think those are great scenarios. And so many of us, not I, because I'm an only child, but so many of us have the younger family member or the family member who's a little more familiar with technology, and we like to give them the call. So, and that's fine.
Now, I'm assuming, because my brother, usually when my computer's not operating at performance level and it needs to kind of go through the updates and things like that, it takes longer than 20 minutes, So now when somebody calls you up, you let them know, hey, you've got X amount of minutes, free. What's your problem? And they tell you the problem is that, look, we're going to do everything we can in these 20 minutes, but just so you know, usually printer problems take X amount of minutes. And there may be a charge that is incurred. Is that kind of how it works?
So the free plan is really designed to be for two scenarios: those who really cannot afford another plan, and those who just like to have a support mechanism in place but may only need it every month, every other month, every 3 months. The other two tiers were designed to help with the scenario being able to forecast how much support one needs. So you'll see there's a scam protection
Here,
structure.
let me pull up.
Sure.
I'm going to pull up the screen here and share it with
Totally.
you. Okay, so this is the pricing here.
Right.
Okay, so free.
And
Yep.
so there's some layers to this, in that most people end up just going with the $19.99 unlimited. We don't time it, we don't clock it. You use it as frequently as you'd like. The middle tier is for those who know that they probably don't need that much support. They do get a ton of emails, or they want to put something in place for an older loved one or a family member. And that one allows for us to spend as much time as needed on the scam protection. I saw someone message a moment ago that they receive emails from quote unquote PayPal all the time. We know that that's a easily fraudulent email to duplicate or to create. And then anytime that there actually is tech support that's necessary, we just do it for however long that call is. There could be multiple issues on it for $11. So we really have designed this to be accessible at any level. Now, organizations do a few different things with this. Some will white label Quincy, and they'll offer it as a tier for their members. So speaking towards some of the people on the call today or in this webinar. Others are inclined to offer as offer Quincy as their own. So it could be white labeled, and it could actually be resold as well. So there are a few actual lines that we've seen just a lot of support with. And this is our direct to consumer line. There's, of course, independent and assisted living and aging in place communities all over the US. And then my favorite is employee benefits. So we have a partner, Procyon, that they actually have implemented Quincy as an employee benefit, voluntary employee benefit. So as so many of us are in our day-to-day and are being torn between taking care of younger family members and older ones, that's an option to just give them a resource to take some of that pressure off.
Well, and there's a lot of remote workplaces now and things like that. You could see where that would be helpful. Okay, cool. And I guess and the thing that I kind of, when I talk about this topic, I sort of say, we've got hundreds of senior living communities in our book. And I don't know if you know this about me, Ryan, but when I was 43, I lived in 5 different senior living communities as this sort of project. And my first visit, I was walking down the hallway. A woman had her door open. She needed some assistance. She shouted out. I came back. She goes, "Oh, it's the young guy who's living here." I ended up, helping her get something off a shelf. But then she thought that I would know stuff about computers. So I went in and helped her with her printer. And it really opened my eyes to, it's like, wait a second. We've got these communities. All the staff have IT support in the community, but do the residents have IT support? And I could see some real innovative ways to implement better IT support in our senior living providers overall. But okay.
That's one of my favorite. That story, I think, is just, I love that you have that firsthand knowledge and experience. I wish more people had that and saw what it was like.
No, and it was a great experience. But okay, so good. Okay, so we got a little background on who you are. We got your innovative offering to help people. It's that's different from sort of the learning platforms. This is a support platform, and I guess if I'm looking at your choices out in the marketplace, if my computer is running slow and I didn't have my brother to help me, I don't have IT support in my small business. I got to go take this to Best Buy, to the Geek Squad, or, go online and find a tech support. And who knows, maybe I'd end up going to the Geek Squad, but this presents me with another option that's easy to implement. It's free to begin with, to at least analyze the situation with me. And then I can figure out, what direction to go. So I love it. And, but okay.
Thank you.
Let's see. We better jump on these questions here because they've been piling up in the queue. And so the first one that came in right when we started was from Sue Ellman, and Sue would like to know information about using OneDrive. Man, Sue, I have no idea what OneDrive is either, but it always pops up on my on some of my messages. So now, are there any solutions there, Ryan?
Yeah, I think so the short answer is yes. The longer answer is what's the error? How do we identify the root of the challenge here? And so is that a username password? Is the pop-up asking you to enter in or update your information? Is it just a pop-up that we want to minimize and just go into settings? And this is all part of the science that goes into the offering that we've created, is helping identify and solve that problem.
And actually, like Sue, when I heard Sue's question, and Sue, you can jump in there and elaborate on it more, but what I was thinking, and this is my thing, is just storage in general. It's like, because we're getting all these pop-ups. I need McAfee, I need Google Drive, I need, OneDrive, Microsoft, what have you. It's sort of like, okay, what should I do in terms of my storage solution? And there's no one answer that's going to work for any of us. That's where you need to talk to somebody to get that through.
And when I use the term the cloud, that usually doesn't go over very well, but that's actually part of this question too. It's like, are we storing it physically? Are we going to store it digitally? Are we doing it on this device, on another? I could get into the weeds very quickly here, but the how I always think about solving challenges like this is, how would you like it to, what is the end result? Are we trying to just protect the information? Do we want to share the information? Do we want to make it easily accessible across a few different devices? Do you have other devices? And this is where I'm actually not the best person at this, but my team is just phenomenal.
Well, and also we're getting a glimpse of the methodology here, and it may just be, I want to get rid of this pop-up for OneDrive because I don't want it and I don't need it. Okay. Someone asks, are you equipped to help callers who are struggling with confusion and dementia as well as tech, or is that outside of what you found that you can address? I'm curious how you'd answer that. I know how I'd answer that.
Yeah. It's a spectrum. And so anything that touches memory care, our team spends a lot of time with empathy, training, and having those conversations. And at the end of the day, we do our users a disservice if we don't work with them to understand what our limitations actually are. And so that is one of those scenarios that's always it's an emotional challenge, I would say, more than anything for us. We're going to help as best we can, and we are prepared for that. But as it progresses, as dementia progresses, it becomes more challenging. We usually will loop in the younger family members, obviously with the user's permission, and it's a larger group set of organization and preparation. I think that's probably the single most important thing. It's bringing in the sandwich child, the adult child, with the user. And
one of the things that sort of getting on the soapbox is that it is a spectrum. And like this week, I had lunch with Sam Simon, who wrote a play called Dementia Man, and he has early stage dementia, but he still uses his computer. He's writing plays, he's performing, he's doing all these things. And if we can help folks at all levels utilize technology to improve purpose in their life, it's a winner. But we don't want to make a blanket statement that anybody with a cognitive condition can't call, but I think that you guys are taking the steps to help with that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Well, we were talking about, I'm going to jump ahead to a question I just saw pop up from Ruth. Are you prepared to work with low vision clients? Is that something that you can assist with?
So spectrum again. Computers do have accessibility functions, and we're really good at helping our users find the right accessibility functions for them. That spectrum includes, though, color combinations, color limitations, magnification, then there's closed caption. So long answer is pretty much actually what I just said. Short answer is yes. but everything has a spectrum when it comes to just human interaction with technology. So we have a playbook. Sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it actually really does, which is quite lovely.
And I dropped Sean Curry's contact in there for if you've got a loved one or if you've got low vision issues. A lot of times getting the assistive technology or working with Joan Green, who I saw is on the call, working with
Hi, Joan,
to get the assistive technology so that you're able to use your phone or your computer, getting that assisted tech in place so that now when that computer or phone isn't operating correctly, you can have a dialogue to diagnose and fix that. So, okay, great. And I see Joan dropped in some stuff there. That's fantastic. Okay, Suman asks, what's the best iCloud storage solution for photos and document storage? Ryan, start asking this, but we are going to have a discussion in a couple of weeks on what to do with digital photos, where we're going to address that, Suman. But Ryan, if you want to share any insights there on,
it's not that I don't have any recommendations. I can just go back to what are we looking to accomplish? Is it preservation? Is it sharing? Is it do we want to make it accessible to a limited number of people more? There's data storage, and then there's data distribution, and then there's data just management. So I won't go through the tech stack that I would recommend, but it does sound like Steve is going to have a great resource on that. And if there's something more urgent, just call in, speak with a technician, tell them what the use cases that you need are, and they'll take it from there.
And okay, let's see here. And I'm getting through the questions, then I'm going to go to the chat. Okay, so please talk about the companies who do not provide phone numbers and do not make it possible to talk with them and communicate.
They're monsters
by phone. This makes us very uncomfortable, and sometimes younger family members do not seem to understand the importance of telephone communication. And this question sort of dovetails into the primary principle of the company that you founded, is just getting somebody on a phone.
And I think what's really challenging is technology and resources today. The pandemic shifted technology forward, and we are only going to continue going in that direction. We are not going back to the way things were. And this is both a good thing and a bad thing. Good, right? I'll give you a silver lining. Telehealth and telemedicine, the way that our users have been able to open up the breadth of doctors that they're able to connect with, absolutely huge. The way that they're able to now navigate MyChart and the different platforms for medical records that will help get a user logged into and set up with. We're not sticking around for the actual review of that documentation, but those are huge positives. The negative is technology is really not being created and implemented anymore for people who are not comfortable with technology. It does bridge. Quincy is here to bridge that gap, but you are absolutely right. I think these organizations are just monster. Just absolutely, it's not fair. All I want to speak with is a human.
And it really has nothing to do with a person's age. This is frustrating to an 18-year-old, when have I would sort of say my children don't have the patience to sit on a line or navigate through the customer service queues. They are used to solutions just like that.
Right.
And I'm used to being in lines and waiting on hold forever. But yeah, talking to a real person is great. Okay. So
I had a flight canceled. So because I was thinking about this, I had a flight canceled 3 weeks ago, couldn't speak to a human. And then if I wanted to use a human to book a ticket, I was getting charged an extra $25. So in one scenario, it's impossible. In the other, they're making you pay to speak to a person. That's just not fair. So I am pretty passionate about that specific issue.
And I know I'm jumping back on one of my soapboxes, but what we're talking about is technology that enables us to connect with a human to get something done one of the best platforms that I'm familiar with is GoGo Grandparents, because getting an Uber or Lyft ride is not easy if you don't know how to use a smartphone. And they've sort of created technology where you can call an 800 number, and now you can get your
Yes.
Uber and Lyft ride, and somebody will call you and make sure that you got there okay. It's great. Okay.
Fun fact, Uber actually liked what GoGo Grandparent was doing so much, and GoGo Grandparent didn't like this, but Uber made it that there's a phone line that older adults can call directly to Uber and have a car booked for them. So there's no charge for that.
Yeah, thank goodness, because just like your airline thing, I was waiting around for my Uber driver, and there's just no way to get in touch with them. It's insane. Okay. Sue has a follow-up, and it's, what can OneDrive do for you and how to use it? So that's what she's looking for. Now, this is where I think some of those platforms that we were talking about earlier and your platform could intersect, because Sue, let's say that you want to learn about storage for your computer and what have you, and you like learning, and this is not like a problem that you want solved. It's, I want to learn about it and figure it out. Like there might be a class on Get Setup or Senior Planet or something like that that you would enjoy taking and then figuring it out. Whereas calling Ryan's team, they're going to ask you questions and then figure out, okay, Sue, OneDrive is a storage platform. So here are some different scenarios. Which one do you feel comfortable with? Is that how it would work?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly.
Okay. Let's see. Great question here from Sean. What languages other than English can you handle?
This one is a top priority for us right now. Only English.
Okay.
We are currently exploring Spanish, and there is a request for Chinese as well. And when I say a request, it's actually I think a really important option to include. Right now, it's just English though.
Okay, great. And let's see. Okay. Okay. Are there computers that are better designed for older adults, like a computer for seniors? Now, I'll drop this into chat. There is GrandPad, which is sort of the ease of use tablet. It's not a computer that is out there. Over the years, I've seen a few companies sort of try to create a computer for seniors, but what they end up creating when they create that is a computer that nobody wants to buy, because nobody wants to be referred to as a senior or an older adult. Would sort of, let's say that, could somebody call y'all and maybe go through what would be the best laptop to buy or best system to buy?
Totally. So there are two big thoughts here. The first is, I think, Steve, to your point, we have found our users and virtually everyone else do not want to be treated any differently. And so these pieces of hardware that are designed for, well, in this case, seniors, I actually tend to not use that word. It makes it, there's a high level of disinterest in that, in our experience. We use a remote desktop application. So when I think credibility is actually really important in this space, because we do ask our users to give us to not even take a leap of faith, but we have done everything we know to do to show that we are providing support all over the US. So we've been on Fox, where we have these conversations, we participate in webinars. Why I'm saying all this is because the technology we use, others will use as well, and they'll use them for nefarious. And that's, again, super disappointing. We use a tool, remote desktop application. We are agnostic. So some people have one that they prefer, a team viewer or similar. We don't care. Whatever you're comfortable with, we have our recommendations, but it allows us to see what you see, take control over your device. You are always in control. We use a piece of technology. Our version allows you to just move your mouse or your cursor and you kick us out. But that is actually really important to note. Why I'm going down this path is because certain devices, PCs, allow for remote desktop application. So a Dell computer, an HP computer, these are much more digestible for being able to fix remotely. Apple computers allow for it as well, but they have a couple of steps that have to be taken that we do a really good job guiding our users through, but it offers some challenges. So that's one layer to this. On the mobile side, Android operating systems, Google, Dell, HP, and similar, you can use the same piece of technology on those devices. On Apple products, if you have a tremor, if you want extra levels of support, Apple products are much more difficult to provide support on. You can guide and you can see, but as a technician, you cannot actually take control over. There are security reasons for that, and that's a good thing, but it also makes it that if you gift someone an iPad and you think you're going to be able to help them remotely, after you give it to them for Christmas and you go back home after the holidays and they're 5 days out trying to get into their username or password for an email account, you're going to be leaving them with a little bit of a problem.
Great. Let's see. Well, in the spirit of sharing information, I'm playing around with chat, and I know that a bunch of folks are dropping stuff in. But David, I'm glad you shared this. This is David. If you see in chat, he shared a computer called the Telekin, and he found that to be an easy computer to use. So that might be something that folks would be interested in just researching. Let's see. Rita asks, what's the best smartphone with fall detection? I know Apple, I believe Apple Watches are doing some fall detection. I'm not sure if phones are doing fall detection at this point.
I haven't seen that. So I'm happy to find out, though. That's actually a really cool question. And my co-founder, when I mentioned this question to him, he's going to love it because he spent most of his career building wearables with fall protection and the like in there. So he's going to love that question. We'll get an answer for you.
All right. I answered a call during the webinar, was log out. It took me a few minutes. Oh, okay. Listen, all of you that got on this webinar, this is wonderful. And I'm glad that you're on this webinar. And I apologize if there's any technical issues on our webinar today, but at least we know that you got a number now that you can call to get a little bit of help and maybe answer some of the technical support. And do you get like calls about, I want to get on Zoom to see my daughters play or something like that? Absolutely.
That's since day one, I would say that has been one of the biggest requests. And now at this point, most people are comfortable with Zoom, but it's, hey, do you know how to turn on closed caption or captions in Zoom? Can you help me with certain accessibility functions in Zoom? And the answer to that is yes. That has become such a core part of how we interact with technology today. So,
okay,
yes.
Cool. Okay, Walter says, could a user call for help using a website or an app? Thinking about my 65 to 70-year-old parents who aren't very tech savvy. Well, Walter, I think the beauty of this platform is you're first going to talk to somebody on the phone. So you could actually, if you wanted to, you could use one of these things, I guess, to call. And I've dropped the number in there for Go Quincy. But then the person on the phone might guide you to, okay, now let's open up your laptop, and then figuring out if you can get the remote login, if that's something that's necessary. Correct?
That's exactly it. And to that question, when we say call a number, we really do mean like any phone will work. We wanted to make it super easy to get assistance.
Yeah. No.
So no, it's not an app download or anything like that. It's truly a phone number.
And then, okay, let's see. Lois asked, how do I sign up for the free service? Lois, hopefully you saw I dropped it in there, and you get extra time if you say pro aging and that you're on this webinar. Gabe asks, Windows, Macs, Linux, mobile devices, iPhone, iPad, Android, you all have support for all of these?
Yes, the Linux, I don't see many people utilize. Everything else, yes, though. Those are certainly a lot more consumerized. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, we talked about Telekin, GoGo Grandparents. Oh, Judith is sort of throwing out some insight on GoGo Grandparents. GoGo Grandparents is expensive. Plus, it's hard for me to communicate with them because the representatives are not US based. Okay, interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Judith. And I think I may next month have the folks from GoGo Grandparents on, but that's great information that you shared. Joan Green has a message on there that she's a great advisor and teacher networking group. And the thing that I like about Ryan's offering is it's not excluding somebody like Joan, like an individual one-on-one coach, or somebody that's helping you figure out assistive technology because of your low vision. It's actually complementing it, because now, you know, if you had a problem, you've got the tools to, oh, geez, let me try GoGo Quincy for my tech issue. Instead of bothering Joan, she hooked me up with everything that I need, you know. Okay, we talked about low vision. Cecilia says, you recommend Get Setup IO, but I don't recommend Get Setup. I was just sharing them as a learning platform. But what's interesting, I don't know if you know this, the instead of .com, it says Get Setup IO. Do you know what IO means? And is that something that we should be concerned about? Because in an effort to not go to scam websites, should somebody be concerned if they see a .io?
You know what? It's a great question. No, it's not something to be concerned about. You can have a .org, a .gov if you're a government, .com, .io, .ly. In the last 6 or 7 years, we've seen websites become more creative with what comes after the dot, because certain words before the dot are harder and harder to secure and to utilize for your own website. So in theory, if we wanted to, gogoquincy.com could be quincy.io. But if you go to quincy.gov, you end up in Quincy, Massachusetts. So these are the different things that go into creating a website. I think Get Set Up does a lot right. Governments have been implementing them so you can get free access. Libraries have an experience, have access to them as well. I spent 3 years in e-learning, something that I do see some of our users use, both them and us, because they're video based. So if a drop down search changes and they don't update their video, you may be able to figure out 75% of that video, but that leap, we tend to get a phone call from a user saying, hi there, can you help me get from this video to what I'm trying to complete? And we absolutely can do that as well. It's sort of the benefit of having a human in the dialogue, in the interaction.
Okay, cool. This is good. Let's see. Judith, how do you save this chat? The chat will be saved on the recording link at proaging.com, literally, an hour or so after this discussion. So that's the best way to do it. And it's from start to finish. So it'll be a better way to access the chat. Let's see. Okay. Oh boy, more questions keep on coming in. Okay. All right. Could you help a stroke survivor who has aphasia set up a Zoom account? She can't talk and understand, but not as easily or quickly or completely. She lives alone, or could she learn how to use Zoom through another source? Her funds are limited. Okay, so Janet, based on what I know about Ryan, I think one of the challenges is that if somebody, whether it be cognitive or if they don't have the tools to communicate via the phone or via the internet, it makes it challenging all around. Like ordering takeout could be a challenge. Okay, so I would, if you have a loved one or supporter of a person with aphasia, it might be doing the call together to get some tech support help. But this is one of these scenarios where I really do feel like somebody with severe cognitive impairment or aphasia that might be difficult to express themselves, that getting a coach like Joan could be a good solution. But because there's limited funds, my sort of thing is, if you got a friend, family, or loved one, and you can sort of cobble together some support with Go Quincy, that might be a solution.
That's actually a really important one. I think that speaks to just even how we manage dementia progression. Bringing in the loved one, yes, to work directly with this individual would be a challenge. It's just a function of some of the limitations that come with being on the phone. But if there's someone who's available, we can, if she's able to communicate to them, we can absolutely help that sandwich child, that adult child, that individual move a lot faster with fixing something, setting it up, advising them. That is absolutely a great use of even the free tier of Quincy.
Okay, great. Okay. Let's see. All right. Joan corrected. Oh, here, folks. Joan corrected the webinar date that she was mentioning. Let's see. Ryan, question on how to contact you via email. I hope you're cool with me dropping your email address.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm dropping Ryan's, and it'll be on the recording link as well, folks. I'll make sure that his contact is on there, because look, if you're an individual and you got a question, you can reach out to Ryan and he may direct you to somebody. But let's say you're a senior living community and you're looking to do something like this, you've got that. I did mention the Dementia Man play and this unbelievable playwright, Sam Simon. Somebody wanted to know, is it online? The recording of the play is not online, but you can learn more, and I dropped that into chat. Let's see. Louise asks, do you actually take over my computer to address the issue, or do you just instruct me to do that? Great question, Louise.
So I don't love using the term take over the computer, because we're actually never in complete control. You always have the control to push us out. So you are the master, but yes, we can actually control the cursor, and we can use the keys to effectively do anything that you could do on your device. But again, you can kick us out. We can't kick you out. We've created a scenario where final control is always in the user's hands.
Here's a great question that I get hit by these all the time. And I just noticed we're almost to the top of the hour. So folks, if you have to jump off, the recording will be up later this afternoon. But Cedar has a great question. I often get emails from PayPal stating that my order payment went through. Everything about the email looks legit. I get to PayPal, check my account, and make sure no payment was made. And then I forward the email to PayPal. That's a great, if somebody was concerned about something, that's an opportunity for you to potentially call Go Quincy, correct?
Yeah, we do. We see that scenario all the time. And just for anyone's edification on this webinar, the first steps are look at who sent the email by clicking it, because right out the gate, you'll see, is it from @paypal.com or is it from billing.xyz.paypal.com? And it is something as simple as that can confuse a system where it is not from PayPal, but it certainly looks that way. And the rest of that email is just a combination of dropping in photos or logos. So 9 times out of 10, it's actually, I would say 99 times out of 100, it is not PayPal. Our first assumption is anyone who says that they are, assume that they are not.
And Cedar, your approach is a good one too, is that you receive an email that you think is from your bank or from PayPal or what have you. Log into don't click on any link, log into your account, see if it meshes. If it doesn't, it's like, oh, that really was a scam. And the same thing, I was just with my neighbor the other day. Somebody called and they sounded like her son. And I said, you need to just, hey, I'm going to call you right back. Hang up the phone, call your son. And it's like, Mom, why did you hang up on me? I just wanted to make sure it was you, So a couple of little things there, but again, you can also call Go Quincy. And this is what I mean by where you're solving a problem, but you could also be a learning experience in situations like this. Okay.
Totally.
Beverly says we need Android help, not Apple. You all could help somebody.
Totally fine.
Okay.
I prefer it, frankly.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. I got through that. Let me just go to the bottom. We'll make this our last question from Laura. Are you going to talk about what Columbia University is doing? This was incubated at Columbia University, or tell what the connection is there.
Sure. So I think it's first important to say that Columbia University is not involved with this. It was in school. When I was a student at Columbia University, Quincy was created in a class. GoGoQuincy.com was created in a class with the help of a number of professors and guidance that really was instrumental in the creation, ranging from what parameters we follow to how best to communicate and really make this into a credible, helpful service. So no, Columbia University is not involved, but the inception was started at Columbia.
And if you weren't there and you didn't have the support of your, number one, if you weren't taking the class that challenged you to the thing, and then you had the support of your professors. I think I cut and pasted when I create these promotion folks, I cut and paste, these things off the website. And so I hope I didn't misrepresent it in doing that. But this is awesome, Ryan. Hats off to you on this new venture. I think it solves a problem, and I'm really excited about all the folks that joined in and the great questions that y'all had. It's clear that there is a problem here, and that there's not one solution. And that's what I like, is that you're very transparent, is that there's not one solution, but this can be a solution to help us navigate this tech support world that we're all faced with. And it's not exclusive to older adults, but having a platform that you can get somebody on the phone and talk to somebody is really helpful.
Thanks, Steve. I just really appreciate this conversation. The engagement from this community has just been so exciting. And we really look forward to being of assistance and just helping us all make technology problems a thing of the past. So I really just appreciate your time.
You bet. All right, folks, we'll see you next week, and have a great weekend. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ryan. And thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.